A very warm welcome, friends, to this eighth session of this lecture series on the introduction to Android app development. In today's session, we'll be dealing or we'll be seeing how we can deal with databases, how we can create a database, how we can create a table in that, how we can insert the data, how we can fetch the data. So, in the yesterday's app, what we did was we hard coded the strings of ID and password, and now what we are going to today is we are going to create a database. We are going to put those default values in the table in a credentials name table, and we are going to fetch the data from the table, and then we are going to see whether the ID and passwords are correct or not. And we will also be giving the user to option to change the password or even ID. So by doing that, those values will be changed, updated in the database, and when next time the user is logging in, he or she is going to compare those values. The app is going to compare those values with the new updated values. So I think we should start, and I am going to share my screen now. I hope you are able to see the screen. So this was our yesterday's app. I'm going to just make a new app, so that one is a new project, and in this new project we will be having one activity, one maybe basic activity we can take, or maybe empty activity. So I'll just take the empty activity and then click on finish. I'm going to change the name to training DB app. This is the package name. It has taken automatically, it has taken the default package in.gov. That is the prefix of the package. Location is this. Java is the language, and which is the minimum APK that I want to support. So let it be 21. API 21, it is going to support about 94% of the devices. Click finish, and a new create activity will be created. A new project will be created with some default activities. I am just going to close this window. Okay, now we have a blank activity, a fresh project with so much of code with us. This is the Java file, the main activity.java file. Then we have resources, and within resources I have got this one single activity. I can go to split, and this is the text view, simple text view it has created for me. So this is the by default blank package with an empty activity looks like. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the same thing like as we have seen many times. I'm going to create a linear layout, and with match parents to fit to the screen everything, and orientation is vertical, and then just close it. And within this I am going to have edit text, width is match, and this is wrap content, and then the ID is say EDT and user ID. This is the ID, and another one edit text, width match parent, and height is wrap content, and its ID is say EDT user PWD. Okay. These are the two edit texts that I have just created, and let us give a small hint so that user knows what the program is expecting from the edit text from the user. Okay, so let's say the hint is password, and here the hint is user ID. Okay, and when the user clicks the button, it should check the ID and password, then it should uh, tell if the ID and passwords are correct or not. So let's say the text is login, that's it, and its ID is btn login. This is the ID. So this is the framework of the entire app that we have just created. Let us just give a small margin also. Margin on all sides is say 20 dp, okay, so that it doesn't look bad. And let's, okay, so I've just given a small margin on all sides. I could have also given the padding. So this is what we have just created, and when the user clicks on this button, it should run a method inside the main activity. The name of that method is say in our case, let's say it is on click, let's say it is check login. This is the name of the method, and let's create, press Alt and enter. It will give you the option to create a method inside main activity. Click here and it will create everything for you. So now here, instead of hard coding the strings, what we are going to do is we are going to take the data from the database and then we are going to check it. Okay, so let us create three variables. Edit text is btn, no, not btn, edt user id and edt user password, and one button btn login. Okay, and when the activity is created, at that time we are going to populate these edit text and button with the resources which are inside the layout. So edt user id is equal to find view by id r dot id dot edt user id. We are going to just duplicate it, edt password, see how little I am typing. I am just typing a few things and it is suggesting everything, all the options, and then I am just selecting, pressing enter on selecting the option. That is the beauty of this this software, is that you have to type very less and it is going to create most of the things for you. Similarly, button login is equal to find view by id r dot id dot button login. Okay, so I've just populated all the three variables, and when the check login is done, right now I'm going to hard code it, and once we create a database, we are going to store and see the values from and to the database. Okay, so I'm just going to hard code it. If edit user id dot let's just create strings, string user id is equal to user id dot get text dot to string. Okay, just duplicate it, and user password. Okay, user id dot equals say id, and dot equals 1 2 3. Okay, then what it should do, it should create a toast, make text, this is the context, this is the context, the second one is the message is login success, and duration is not duration. Why it is not coming? Just a second. Length long. Okay. Otherwise, just duplicate it. Else, otherwise login failed. Okay, so this is just a small app that I have just created. Let us try to run it in our mobile. What I suggest is, before going into the database and everything, you should create the framework, the user interface, try it with some temporary values, and then you start going into the database. Otherwise, what will happen? You will do the entire exercise, and let's say something is not working or some logic is not working. You will not be able to see properly. You will not be able to filter it out. Also, even if you are able to filter it out, you will have to do the most of the exercise again. So that will be kind of reinventing the wheel. I have just done a small error here. I have made the text, but I have not shown it. So just see, it is showing me a warning. Just create a show, because it is saying that although you have created, but you have not shown it. Okay, so you can just click on dot show. You can create. You can now show it. So here it will create a text and then it will show also. Still it is showing some error because the compiler was running. So although I have done it, but it is not going to show because I did not show it here. So I have to just run it again. I'm going to run it again, and let's see whether the overall structure of app is working or not. Then we are going to do it with the database. Okay, I've got it. So let's say I just paste some random values and check it. It will say login failed. And if I write here ID and here as 1, 2, 3, it will show as login success. Now instead of hard coding these things, what we are going to do is we are going to put these values inside a database. Now the helper, the Android Studio has a helper for database. It's called as SQLite database. So just create a database variable, SQLite database. Okay, and its name is say MyDB. Okay, MyDB is the name of the variable which is of type SQLite database. And when the activity is created at this time, there are two ways. Either you can check whether the database is existing or not, or you can right away you can write that create database if does not exist. Okay, what it will do is it will create the database only if it is required, if the database is not already existing. Okay, and that database is encrypted and it is a private kind of it's a hidden database. No other application other than your application can see that database. No other application other than yourself your own application can see what are the rows, what are the tables, what are the structure and everything of that database. Okay, so let us create a new database when the activity is created. To do that, you can write as mydb is equal to open or create a database. If you can write a command as open database, that is also possible. But the thing is, if the database is missing for the first time when the app is installed in your PC, that time database is null. There is no database. So in the first time you have to create a database. So that is why the command is like open or create a database. If the database is already there, it will open the database. If the database is not there, means the app is being run for the first time, it will create a database. Okay, now it will ask for the name. Let's say the name of my database is config. Okay, config is the name of the database. Okay, config db, or let it be config, and the mode is, it can be private. What I suggest is it should be kept as private. This is the default mode, but if you want to make your database available to other applications, then only you make it public. Otherwise your content will be always private. Okay. The factory is this is the cursor factory. This you can keep as null, because right now we don't need any cursor factory. Cursor factory is a kind of, it's a cursor which is used to run the queries, and whenever the queries are run, the result of those queries will be stored inside that cursor, and that cursor you can use to extract the data from that cursor. So whenever a query, SQL query is being run, the result will always be stored inside a cursor, that is called as a cursor. And right now what we have shown is, we have told that the default cursor factory is null. So we will be explicitly giving the cursor factory at the time when we run the query. So now this particular statement, mydb is equal to open or create database, config mode private null, is going to either open a database if it is existing, otherwise if it is not existing, it is going to create the database with the name config private. That is a private database which is residing within your app, which is not visible to any other application, and there is no default cursor factory provided in our database. Now let us add one default entry, right? When the database is first created, at that time, if the table is not existing, yes, within a database we have to create a table also. Within a database we will create a table, and within that table we are going to create a entry for ID and password. Okay, this is what we are going to do. So let's create a table, mydb.exesql. ExecSQL is a statement which is going to execute that particular SQL query on the database. Okay, so the SQL query for this creating a table, if it is not there, and here also the same logic applies. If the table is there, then don't create it. If the table is not there, only then create it. So the SQL query is create table if not exists. Okay, this is the SQL syntax. Create table if not exists means if the table is not there, then you create it. Then the table name. So let's, the table name is tbl config. Let's change the name of our database to dbconfig, so that we understand that yes, dbconfig is the name of the database and tbl config is the name of the table. Okay, and now it will after creating a table, we have to give the structure as well. So let us create two columns. One is the parameter, one is the value. So parameter will be ID, value will be the ID, value ID. And similarly, second one will be the config will be, the parameter will be password, PWD maybe, or password complete, and then the value of the password. So to do that, we have to keep on giving the column names along with the type. How to do that? Within brackets, you keep on giving the names separated by commas by the type. So the name is, say, COL. COL is for prefix for column. Parameter, its type is text. Then call value, and its type is text. Okay, so this statement is going to create a table if the table is not there with the name table config with two columns. The first column is named as call parameter, second is named as call value, and both types are text. Types, you can have text, you can have numbers, you can have dates, timestamp, any kind of, there are many different types of the columns that are available. And now what we are going to do is, we are going to fetch the value from the database. So right now obviously we have created a blank table, so by default its values will be 0 0 null, not 0, they will be null. 0 itself is a value, 0 is not equal to null, 0 is the value. So by default there will be zero, no blank, no rows, and there will be a null values if you try to fetch any rows. So what we are going to do is we are going to find out whether the number of rows inside the table are 0 or not. If the number of rows are 0, or let's try to find out the parameter first. So if id is not existing, then it will insert the rows, otherwise it will not insert. So I'm just going to write, I'm just creating, instead of typing the SQL query inside the EXE SQL, I'm going to make a string out of the query, and then we are going to feed that string inside the query parameter. So SQL query is equal to select, this is what is going to select the data from a given table. Okay, what is the name of the select call value? This is the name of the column from table config. Okay, this is my query that I'm going to execute. So mydb dot and SQL query. Okay, so this is going to execute this query, but this is not going to return anything. All right, since it cannot return any data, we are going to use raw query. Raw query is going to return a data. So if you see the help of this EXEC SQL, you can see here it says, the quick help says that it will not return any, it has no means to return any data. Okay, so but this one is raw query. In this raw query it will return the data. All right, it has got two parameters. The one is the SQL query and another one is the selection arguments. So right now I can give is null, I don't have any selection arguments, and it is going to return something, a cursor, some data that has to be stored inside a cursor. So I will just create a cursor, my cursor, and here my cursor is equal to this one. Okay, so now the data will be fetched. That raw query is going to fetch some data. It is going to select the column values from the table config. It is going to select all these things, and then it is going to store inside the my cursor. And now my cursor will contain all the information about the fetch data, how many number of rows, how many number of columns, and everything. So let's see if the column is blank, whether the column is blank or not. If get count, my cursor dot get count is equal to 0, else this. So if it is equal to 0 means the table was created for the first time, and that is why when we fetch the column value from table config, it returned nil. So here we know, now we know this if is going to be true only in case when the table was created for the first time, means the app was launched for the first time. Only in this case we are going to insert the default values. Okay, and otherwise we are going to store the database values inside a public variable. Okay, so to insert the values here, you can again use the same SQL query. SQL query is equal to insert into, then table name is tbl config, and within bracket you have to give the column names, values, within bracket you have to give the values. Okay, within bracket the column name is id, and second column name is pwd. This is the column name, right? I think, no, sorry, call parameter and this call parameter and call value. The first one is the column parameter is this is the first value is id, second value is 1 2 3. These are the first value. id is id and pwd is 1 2 3. Okay, these are the two two values. For first one, the parameter is id. The value of that parameter is not, let's say, make it admin. Okay, so that we don't confuse between id and id. So the id is admin, parameter id, value admin. Second is parameter pwd, call value, column value 1 2 3. Okay, so now let's try to run these queries one by one. Raw query and SQL query. Now this is going to commit, and then here the same thing. So okay, so it is going to insert these two values inside the, okay, there is some spelling mistake. All right, what it is going to do is, I am again going through the flow of the program. First of all, it is going to create a database if it is not there. Otherwise, it is going to skip this step. Second, it is going to create the table if the table is not existing within the database. Otherwise, it is going to create a table. Okay. Next, it is going to run a query. It is going to select the column value from table config. So it is going to select all the column values from this particular table and store it inside the cursor, this cursor. Okay, and if the count of this cursor, means the result count of this cursor is 0, that means the table is created for the first time. Then we are going to insert two values, one for parameter id, value is admin, and one for password, the value is 1 2 3. Okay, and then it is going to run both the times. It is going to run and it is going to store it in the table. Otherwise, if the database table was already there and it was already let's not select the column values, let's select everything. So select star from table config. So now we have already have within my cursor, I have all these values because the table was there and count was not 0. So that's why I have the values of id and password which were already residing inside the database. So let us try to fetch these values from this my cursor. My cursor dot get values, get string, and also let us put a debug message, log dot e is for a message, for a message. First of all, I have to give the context, this, and then the message is for the first time. Okay, let us duplicate this thing. Database already exists. Now this thing is, this should be tag db training. Let us store these values inside public variables, string my id, my pwd, and save these fetch values inside the strings that I have. My id is equal to this, and my pwd is equal to this, and let's try to log it. Database already exists. The current values are plus, or maybe my id plus space plus my pwd, and let's try to run our app. Okay, so I'm just starting the device now, so I hope you are able to see the screen. Let's try to run it. Let us see what comes on the run window. Okay, let's see. For the first time, it should say that the table was not there. Okay, it has crashed. Let us see what happened. There is somewhat unable to start the activity on the SQLite duplicate column name. Okay, txt. Okay, there is some problem in the SQL query. This is the query that we have just typed, and there is some issue with this query. Let us find out. Okay, right. This type of the type of the column has to be separate, not separate without the column comma. So this one is the call parameter, which is of the type text. There should not be any comma here, and then after comma, the name of the column, then space, and then the type. So now I think it should run. This query was wrong, so that's why it gave an error. Let's see. Keep an eye on the run. So see here, now the app is running because our this query was earlier it was not right. We have corrected it. So it is showing database created for the first time, because at this time we are running this app after creation of database for the first time. So database was not existing there. So it has shown that database created for first time. This message it has shown. That means it must have already entered these two values inside the database. And if you run it again, next time it should say that database already exists. Okay, let us try to run it next time. It is coming, and see, okay, database coming start, because we have terminated it, so that's why. Let us try to see the logcat. Let's try to see the logcat. Exit this app and try to run the TrainingDB app. Again it is saying database is created for the first time, because every time there is some issue, every time it is going into this if condition. That means there is some issue with our SQL query. Select everything from table config. Okay, and get count is 0. So let me just check what is the problem with this. There was another issue that it should not be, it's obviously it is not returning anything, so it should be execute SQL. Here also it should be execute SQL, and we don't need any on this side. So now I think it should run. One more thing, we have not moved the cursor to the proper location, right? So let's move the cursor to my cursor dot move to first. It will move the cursor to the first row, and in first row the ID is in our column structure. First is our parameter, second one is the value, so we have to make it 1, and one more, my cursor dot move to next. Now it will go to the next row. In the next row it will take the column index as first column index, that is the call value, put it inside my pwd. Let us try to run this one. It is installing still. So now see, database already exists. Okay, so it is now entering into this one. So database already exists. The current values are admin 123. If you uninstall this app, let's try to uninstall this app, okay, and then run it again. So for the first time the user is installing this app, then what is happening, and when it is using for the second time onwards, what is happening, that both things we are going to see. So it is installing. I have uninstalled, so all the data has been wiped out. Okay, so it is saying database created for the first time. Okay, means this code is running, and when this code is running, it is inserting these two default values. And let's run it again, training DB, and now second time it will say database already exists. Current values are admin and 123, because when it was running for the first time we inserted these two values. Okay, so now let's, instead of these hard coded strings, let us check against these two values. Okay, so let us see if it equals my ID, sorry, and this one equals my PWD, then do this. We can do one more thing. Whenever the columns and the values are inserted for the first time, what we can do is we can store these values also inside the my ID and my PWD. Otherwise what will happen, they are going to show a null pointer error, because by default this my ID and my PWD, they are blank, they are nothing, they are null. So we should do here, because when the user is running this app for the first time, then also the value should not be null. So my ID is equal to admin and PWD, my PWD is equal to 123. All right, and here instead of these hard coded strings you can use these variables. That is very simple. So now let us try to, now what we are doing is we are comparing these things with the data which was fetched from the database. So let us try to run this app now. Let's try to run this app now. Okay. We will also give a option to the user to change these passwords. Okay, current values are admin and 123. Let us try to write. So if we are writing some garbage values, it is going to show login failed, and if we are going to write the correct admin and 123, it will show success. The program is same, but the difference is instead of hard coded strings, we are fetching the values from a database and storing, comparing with those values. Now let us give the user an option to change the password. In this case we are going to update the values which are already existing inside the app. Okay, so we are going to create a new button. Let's say we are going to create a new button, or we can just copy this thing. No? We don't need to rewrite everything. Update password, okay, and its ID can be button update, and in the main activity we are going to add one more button, and here we are going to duplicate this thing. Okay, we have created another variables here. We have saved these views inside this, and if the user clicks on this, what will happen here, this function should replace the values of password in the table with the current values. Okay, so let's take this thing. The password, new password is new PWD is the whatever is written here, that is the new password, and then this new PWD should be stored inside the database. Okay, so the same query we can copy and paste, and here instead of insert into, we are going to use update. Okay, string SQL query, and here we are going to use the update command. Date, table config, set, what we want to set? We want to set the values, column values, set column values is equal to this one, right? This text. So I'm going to close these, plus, and new password, and where. So if you don't put this where clause, it is going to update in every row. So that is not what we want. Where this name of our ID is call parameter is equal to ID, not here. Okay, this is the SQL query, and we are going to execute it. From the next time, it should take the new password. Let's see. It looks quite difficult, but believe me, there are helper classes available. You can use those helper classes. We will also see an example here. We can use those helper classes. It will take the pain out of these creating SQL queries. Also, there are many online software available where you can create these queries automatically. You give the table name, you give the values and everything, and it will create a SQL query for you. You can copy and paste that SQL query directly inside the program. Right now, what I am doing is I am typing everything by hand, so it is taking more time. So let's see ID, and I want to update the password to. I have not changed the text of it. So let us change the text of it. Instead of update login, it should be update. Okay, now let us run it again. Even if you don't have to go online to create the SQL queries, you can do it in MS Access. In MS Access, there is a utility to create SQL queries. So big SQL queries can be created, and you can just copy and paste those SQL queries inside your program. So let's see, the ID is ID, and password instead of 123, I am making as ASDF. Okay, this is the new password, and I am clicking on update. So now it has crashed, something happened. Yes, there is a problem with the query. It should not be execute query. It should now, I think it should be raw query. Should be raw query. Let us try to run it. Oh, just a second. It should be null. It has to be suffixed with null. Let us try to run it. Okay, let's see. Okay, instead of 1, 2, 3, I am giving QWER and update. Again it has crashed, so there is some issue here. Our query is, I think, not proper. There must be some spelling mistake or some typing mistake. So what I recommend is you don't go with this. There is a helper class available, so you can directly use that helper class. Okay, Android Studio provides you with the helper class, wherein you can do these operations directly on the database without having the pain to write the queries by yourself. So I will just give you an example. Although there is some problem in my SQL query, you can figure it out by yourself. But let us see how we can use this these helper classes. So instead of writing a SQL query and running that raw query, I can use the update method. This is the update method, and here it will ask for the table, then content values, then all the content and everything. And there you can give these values and you can update the table directly. So the name of the table is TBL. What was the name of the table? Config. One more thing, I am hard coding all these strings. This is not recommended. You should store all these names, column names, table name, database name inside variables, and those variables should be given here. But for explanation purpose, I was typing everything here. Here next we need to have the content values. I have not created any content value, so let's just create that. Let's create content values, my content values, my content values dot add put. The first one is the key, it's the column name. The column name in our case is COL ID, I think, COL parameter and COL value. Okay, COL value, this is the name of column. Okay, and the value is the new PWD and my content values, and after that it asks for a where clause. Okay, in this update the third argument is the where clause. See, first one is table, second is values, third one is the where clause, and last one is the where arguments. So where clause is a string, and where arguments is a array of strings. So where clause means where ID is equal to this much, or where parameter is equal to ID. Otherwise what will happen, it is going to change all the rows. Okay, so I'm just going to put a where argument here, where the where clause is ID is equal to where all parameter is equal to question mark, and the argument is new string, and in this I'm going to put the it's a new string array, because column parameters, you can have multiple filtering. So presently we have only one filter where the column parameter is equal to this value. So what is the name of the column that we have given was values. Okay, no, not value, it should be PWD. So there is error being shown, it has not been initialized. Okay, we will let us initialize new content values. Okay, now it has been initialized. Let us try to run this thing, and if it gives some error, then we will debug it. One more thing, believe me or not, your app is never going to run in the first attempt. You are definitely going to face some errors, and you should not give up, because Android is, in general, it is difficult language. So keep up with it. You will ultimately get the feel of it. Even at this stage, I have created 3 or 4 different apps, but still today also I make mistakes, and I need to go to Google and search for the solution. So let's make the password a QWERTY, KWERT, and click update. Let's see whether it runs or not. Okay, it has updated. We have not written anything because it's not showing anything because we have not given any for any message for it. But next time when we run it, it should give the new password. Okay, this is the new password. Now when the user is typing ID, no sorry, admin, and password as earlier the password was 123, now it will show as login failed. But because we have updated the password KWERT, now it will show as the login success. So what we have seen in today's lecture is that we have, instead of hard coding the strings, we have saved the string inside a database, and we have fetched those strings from the database and compared our strings, our edit text values. And also we have updated the database in real time. So whatever the user is giving the input, that has been stored inside the database. That is what we have seen today. So this is how databases are handled. This is just the tip of the iceberg. There is a lot to learn in the database handling, because see, here I am running raw queries many places, and many places I am running raw queries. We are executing raw SQL. This is not right. We should use prepared statements. We should also check whether the SQL queries are injection attack proof. Injection attack means instead of some value, if you put some SQL query, it should not affect the database. There are a lot of things to be done. Right now, what I am doing, I am directly taking these values. Just a second, I am taking directly these values and I am inserting inside my database. Okay, I am directly using these values of the text box and putting inside my database. Hacker can do is, what hacker can do is, the hacker can put the SQL query within the text box, and that SQL query can run inside the raw query. And that is why you should always use prepared statements to prevent these injection attacks. This is called as injection attack. Also, you should be using this helper class. Like for example, here I have used the mydb.update helper class. Instead of running the raw query, this was the raw query that I wrote, but it was not running because of some typing mistake or something. But this is also not recommended. You should not write these kind of raw queries and execute on your database. That is not recommended. You should always use the helpers. Like for example, mydb dot not select, for update. Update is for update. Delete is for deleting a row. Delete is for deleting a row. Then mydb dot, just a second. Then you have begin transaction and compile statements and prepared statements and so many things. Okay, this is for inserting a value. So I should have used, or you must use, instead of this kind of raw query, insert into table config this. Instead of this, what you should use is, you should use this helper class. So what this helper class will do is, it will take care of most of the attacks, because your app may be sensitive. Like for example, if a user types inside the edit text that some SQL query to drop the entire table, as soon as the user clicks it, the entire table will be dropped. Or that hacker can do, write a query to export this entire table inside to a particular email address. So these kind of attacks will be prevented. About 90% of your job, 95% of your job as far as security is concerned will be over if you use the helper tables, the helper class. Instead of raw queries, if you write these update, insert, delete and these commands. So this is my suggestion is, but yes, of course, to get the understanding of how SQL is working, you should practice with these kind of SQL queries. But in any production app, or whenever if you are going to release an app into the public environment, you should never use these kind of blank queries. Okay, this is my suggestion is. So I think this is it for today. We have seen a lot today. We have seen how databases work. how SQL queries work, how we can insert the data, how we can create the databases, how we can create tables, how we can insert tables, how we can insert data, how we can modify the data, read the data. Similarly, we can also modify the rows and extract the rows and so on. So it's a whole ocean of knowledge that is still remains to be explored. I'm not going to discuss because time does not allow for me to go into such detail. So I will not be going into such detail. But after this class in the Google Classroom, I'm going to post some links, tutorial links, wherein you can learn more about databases, how to use these databases inside your app to store, fetch, and modify the data. So thank you once again for your listening, patient listening. We will meet tomorrow. Tomorrow we have a very unique lecture wherein we will understand how to publish these apps on the Google Play Store. So we are left with 4 more sessions. One session will be on how to publish the apps on Google Play Store. 3 more sessions will be focusing on the Know Your Water app, how that app works, what is the architecture of that app, how to fetch the data from internet, and so on. So thank you once again. We will meet tomorrow. Thank you.